who are you?
Who am I? Matt Pfefferkorn,
Where were you born?
Oceanport, New Jersey.
Okay, explain that. Okay, Mellow Matt's been in Bowling Green how many years of his life?
37.
But you're born in Oceanport, New Jersey, but
Yeah.
you didn't live there for a long period of time.
5 months, maybe.
And then where?
Then I think I went to Arizona, maybe, for a brief month or two, and then
Okay.
to South Carolina for the
Okay.
bulk.
Was your
of the
dad running from the
70s.
law? What was going on there?
Yeah. No, he was in the Army at the time.
Okay, so you're an Army kid.
Maybe.
You're kind of a typical
Sorta.
Army kid who
Yeah.
went all peacenik.
Right. It was the early 70s.
It was early 70s. All right, and then you moved to Bowling Green.
In 1980. Yeah.
So what, were you in
Spent a
school
little time
year?
in South Carolina, about 8 years, and then came here.
Okay, what grade were you when you got here?
Fourth.
4th grade. Okay, so where'd you go
Yeah.
to school here?
TC Cherry.
Okay, so not too far from
Not
here.
too far.
So you're a
Stone's
Bowling
throw.
Green purple.
That's right.
Purple for
Yes.
life.
Purple
All right, did
for
you go to
life.
Western?
Yes.
And you've only lived in Bowling Green since then?
Yes.
Okay.
Since 1980.
Where was the first place you worked in Bowling Green?
The first place, like real job stuff.
Yeah.
Outside of mowing lawns and all that.
So you started out mowing lawns.
I did. Yeah.
How many lawns was the most you had in a summer?
15 or 20, something like that.
So you were always a little entrepreneur.
Yes.
Deep down, you always were
down.
trying to
Right.
do business.
Yes.
A lot of people wouldn't think that, but you were.
Deep down, I had my little notebook of all the yards and when you mowed them, when they need to be mowed, and how much per yard, all that stuff.
That's awesome, actually. All right. So what was the next job?
The next job was at Greenwood Mall, Stewart's Clothing Store.
Okay.
It was a women's clothing store that is there no more, and I was the janitorial
Okay.
person who took out the trash, mopped the floors. I learned why clothes racks squeak and how not to get them to squeak.
And how do you,
Wax paper.
wax paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little
Okay.
tip there.
So that was your first foray into retail.
Right. Taxes taken out.
Okay. Okay. And then what was after that?
After that was Record Bar.
Which how many people in town involved with music and culture still started at Record Bar?
Oh gosh, there's a good handful. Yeah.
Like one of your employees here.
Like Jody and Sweeney. Chris Westbrook is here in town. We had a few others. Chris Whitson. Yeah, there's a good little crew here.
And they're still all good friends, right?
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Matter of fact, we're getting ready to have a Record Bar reunion party.
And we're filming this on Thursday, the
15th.
15th of June, so they're having it this weekend,
Right.
but none of us are invited.
It's a closed party.
It's a private affair. Instead, you can go to 16 Candles down at the Public Theater.
True.
Okay,
Yes, true.
we'll go on from there. What was after that? Someone told me you worked at Grandma's Attic.
No.
Why is this rumor that Matt
don't know.
Pfefferkorn worked at Grandma's Attic a
I
thing?
don't know. I've been known to shop there.
Okay.
Plenty of
So you went from
times.
the record bar.
It was Record Bar, then it was Record Bar Tracks, then it was bought out by Viacom, which was Blockbuster Music,
Okay.
which was an awful company.
Is that why they no longer exist except for Alaska?
Probably, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I suggest following the last Blockbuster store on Twitter. It's very funny.
Is it?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Okay.
It's a good follow.
Okay. Let's go from there to what was the next move?
After that was Pack Rats.
Which was a mom and pop here locally, right?
No.
They were in Nashville.
Well, I guess technically it probably started out maybe as a mom and pop, but was quickly bought by the Great Escape in Nashville.
Okay. And then after your last days, which was how many years now? 4 or 5 at Great Escape?
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
You opened here
Yes.
on Small House Road. And I remember you were torn on where to put
Yeah.
your record store.
Right.
So how did you choose here?
How did I choose here? I looked all over town basically, and honestly, one day I had to pull over in this parking lot to look up an address. I was going to check out the property and looked over and saw this space had just become vacant. And so I sat here for a minute, I looked at it, I got out, I looked at it, I looked at the roads, you know, Scottsville Road going into Broadway, small house, sat here for a good 15 to 20 minutes, watched the traffic and everything, walked up here and I was like, this may be the spot. So I called the phone number and it was Alan Reeves, and he said the space is not really ready to be looked at. And I said, that's fine. You know, I'm kind of a vision guy. I could see the vision. And he said, well, okay, how about tomorrow at 3 o'clock or whatever? And so my wife and I, Kim, came over here, looked at it, and I was like, this is the space. This is it. Okay.
So you got into this location.
Yes.
What do you wish you had known before opening a business that you didn't know? Like the hard parts.
The hard parts.
Because there's a big difference between working for someone and owning, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Then there's little things you don't think about, like alarm permits and stuff like that you have to have. You know, I don't know if there's necessarily anything that I wish I had known. I had a lot of great help, honestly, from the Western Kentucky Business Center out there, a guy named Miller Slaughter. I went to see right off the bat, and it's a free service. If you're thinking about opening a business here in town, you basically can meet with somebody out there and talk to them, tell them what you're doing, what you want to do, and they'll give you advice. They think it's a good idea.
So they give you a good checklist?
They give you a great checklist, and it's kind of like taking a class, basically, going back to school, because he can plug in all kinds of figures for you, tap into, you know, what kind of percentage age-wise you're looking at, and if it works and whatnot, and he'll give you homework. You know, he said, well, here, take these papers, read over them, come up with a business plan, punch in what you think, you know, your spending will be, your payroll will be, utilities, future rent, and that type of thing, and then you can see it on paper, and it was a huge help for me.
Was there anything out of that sheet that you did that you're like, I was not expecting that exactly to be? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out, there's some people who follow us that they're thinking about, you know, they may be a vendor at a farmer's market, they may be a vendor at pop-up shows, but they want to start their own store or want to have their own online.
Be prepared to go all in and work 24/7 and carry the bulk of the load yourself at the beginning. Well, because you save on payroll, number one, but people want to see you. You're the owner. They want to see you. They feel comfortable talking to you, you know. So set that up and be prepared to be here 24/7.
Okay, it's not all negative to be your own business owner. It's
Not
freeing. What's the best part
great.
of owning your own business?
The best part? I just love coming and doing this and, you know, helping people and find music, being in the community, being involved in the community. I don't really have any, you know, handcuffs on me of what I can and can't do as far as partnering with other businesses or, you know, giving back to the community, whether it's in the theater or doing stuff like Vinyl Takeover or DJing at different places, that type of thing. You know, you're pretty much unlimited to what you want to do. You just have to do it.
And you control the inventory too.
And you control the inventory, yeah. So any mistakes are your own. But it's easy, you know, they're easily corrected usually too.
Speaking of mistakes, maybe sometimes you get a record in that may not sell locally. How important is online to a brick and mortar business, local business nowadays?
Yeah, I think it's huge in many ways of being able to capitalize totally on what you're doing. Obviously, brick and mortar for us is first. We want people to come in and bring us records, buy records, listen to music here in the store. But if you have stuff that hasn't sold, or there may be an item that is more geared toward online, than it is here in the store. The beauty of it is you can have it for sale in the store and on sale online as well. So if you sell it online, you just pull it from the store and vice versa.
And having a foot in both worlds is
Exactly.
important as a business owner.
Yeah, and and a lot of times what you do online complements, maybe a slow month.
Okay.
Or maybe it puts the icing on the cake on a great month.
Okay.
It's
How is this
great
business?
asset.
How long you been in records and music sales now? It's going back all the way.
30 plus years probably.
Okay. Everyone says music industry is dying. But is it dying? I mean, you've had a resurgence of vinyl.
Yeah.
Tell the difference. I mean, there's got to be some differences, both good and bad.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, the glory days of the late 80s and the 90s of the CD boom, where whether you're selling new or used, I mean, it was just cash, cash, cash. And then, of course, there's going to be a fallout. And the industry itself, the music industry, I think the labels did not adapt to what was going to happen or what they saw happening, because you still had CD prices at $17.99, $15.99, which is absurd, especially these days. But we had the vinyl boom in the mid 2000s,
About
late
07?
07.
Yeah.
And then, Record Store Day came along and that helped. And so it just kept rising and rising and rising. And now, I don't think it's a dead industry at all. I think you have artists being smarter about what they do, and they have more control over it. Jason Isbell is a great example, with his new one coming out. He pretty much, I guess he has his own label now. He's in control of what he's doing, and he's able to offer his product to independent stores at a lower cost.
Okay.
Which is great, because you're going to increase sales and more people are going to be into it, which his record comes out tomorrow.
Did you get Chance the Rapper, or did he just release streaming on? Or
That was just...
okay. So there are those guys that are going straight to fans
Right.
through
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That hurts you guys a little bit, but there's other guys that they still want the
Yeah.
hard copy.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So there, that's the great thing for musicians, right? They can go either way.
Yeah.
What about merch along with music? Has that picked up, you think?
Oh, yeah, like stereo sales, turntable sales. There's obviously Spotify and all that, but I think that has increased sales overall across the market of CDs, LPs, stereo equipment. People, now are seeing how great it is to have a stereo setup again. I can't tell you how many people come in and go, I wish I hadn't given away my turntable, sold my stereo, threw my albums away, and they're rebuying their stuff again. But it's, that's a big part of it as well.
Who did you look up to going into business for yourself and all that?
Going into business, well, obviously, my parents. My dad is great with, money, budgeting, outlook, the future, that type of thing, being able, to look at square footage and all that stuff. They were a big part of it. On the music side of things, Jeff Sweeney, a huge mentor of mine as far as, what I learned in this business early on. Customer service number one was pretty much drilled into my head. Those, were big parts of starting Mellow Mats and what it has become up to this point.
And music being a big factor in your life, you've also got a DJ shift. When did
Yeah.
you start with D93?
15 years ago. Last month was 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how has that kind of affected you as someone who's a merchant of music, also doing on air? Where does that all kind of work together?
Yeah, and it definitely does work together. I mean, D93 is, a great station and a great group of people that, here again, they're a local business,
Sure.
just like all of us, and they do tons of community stuff. But Brian Locke just basically asked me to do a show. I was talking to him about a Grateful Dead type show and maybe getting one syndicated, and he said, well, hey, you like the Dead and you know a lot about them, why don't you do a show? And so I started doing it. Knew nothing about radio and was, scared about messing up and the board and all that stuff, but it was very easy to learn, and I did it with another person who worked there at the time. She soon left after we started, and I thought I was done. Well, that was fun, and he said, no, keep it going. So I did, and obviously, that's a great tool to promote the business as well. We advertise on there and vice versa. But I play a lot of type of music that we carry here in New, whether it's the Isbell or Government Mule or Medeski Martin and Wood, any Grateful Dead releases, that type of thing. I'm going to play on the show. We have it here for sale. So they kind of go hand in hand as far as promotion type thing.
So tell me this, what was the first record that you remember buying?
The first record I remember.
And what age were you, and where did you buy it?
I bought it in Malden, South Carolina, and it was Kiss Alive 2.
All right.
That was the first album I remember buying. I think I remember getting the 45 to Rhinestone Cowboy by Glenn Campbell on 45. 45s were big in the 70s,
Sure.
So I bought a lot of those. But the Kiss album I remember buying in South Carolina.
All right.
McAllister Square Mall, maybe. I don't know. I'm reaching, but
5 best voices of all time in music.
5
I had this conversation with
voices?
my vocalists.
Wow. In music or rock music?
All music of people who are alive while you were alive. Let's do that.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That I personally like, or I think
You don't even
great
have to
voice?
like them.
Oh, okay.
Like one of mine, I'll give you a hint. One of mine, top 5. I don't listen to Luther Vandross a ton,
yeah,
but he's top
yeah.
5.
Luther has a smooth voice.
See, more people coming in.
That guy right there.
That guy.
Dean Martin.
Dean Martin,
I like
good
Dino.
one. Good one.
Everybody goes to Frank, but I'm a Dino fan.
But pure voice? Okay.
You know? James Brown.
James Brown, okay.
Jeff Buckley
Okay.
had a very unique voice, but a great voice. Glenn Campbell.
There we go. That
had a-
45 had an
Had a
impact.
smooth voice. It's hard to beat Wichita linemen.
Yes, true.
And by the time I get to Phoenix,
Exactly.
hard to beat those.
What was your 45 you got? Do you remember which one?
Of Glenn?
Yeah.
Rhinestone.
Okay,
Yeah. 76. I think.
okay. B-side was?
I don't know.
Didn't mean that
Couldn't
much.
get past the A side.
Who's your 5th one?
My 5th one.
No Freddie Mercury, no
Oh yeah, I forgot about Freddie. Dusty Springfield.
Dusty Springfield.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for letting us get to know Matt.
Anytime.
Ryan Litzel.